Fainting can be quite traumatic for both the person who faints as well as those who are nearby trying to be able to handle this. Yet fainting is also somewhat common among healthy adolescents, and parents naturally have concerns about this. So we're joined by Dr. Mark Zittergruen from Mercy Pediatric Cardiology Clinic. Doctor, thank you for making time for us.
Sure.
And why are you seeing more of this, at least from teenagers and other young people?
Yeah, I think we are seeing more of this over the last few years in adolescents and teenagers. A week doesn't go by, we don't see a new patient who's fainted or follow-up patients.
Can fainting ever point to a more serious health concern that you see out of this?
Yes, there are subsets of children who it can be a little more serious. About 15% of kids are estimated to faint throughout their adolescence. A much smaller percentage would have a serious heart problem. Most fainting is what I would call a simple faint, related to low blood volume, standing up too quickly, for teenagers seeing something gross or being sort of stressed out emotionally. And there is a small percent, 1 or 2% of those kids who may have a more significant underlying problem.
Okay, I'll touch on the more significant part in a second.
Sure.
We always talk a lot about screen time. I got kids who are 13, 11. I can't get them off the devices. I'm holding one in my hand right now. Could it be even related to maybe even this, where they're just like this the whole time and they stand up? I'm kind of throwing this against the wall, but I'm curious.
Yeah, the longer they sit in one position and then change positions rapidly, the phone rings, or in school the bell rings, they get up rapidly. Some kids will have a rapid decrease in blood pressure because of the effects of gravity. And anything that pulls blood away from the head, drops the blood pressure, drops the pulse rate, can make a child lightheaded, dizzy, and then faint.
How can families try to work to try to lower the risk of fainting for something like this? Because if this happens to me as a parent, I would not react well. I know that.
Probably the most important thing is to make sure your child is well hydrated. So I can't overestimate, the importance of carrying a water bottle to school, getting started very early. Schools have become more enlightened in this, I think, so there are better opportunities for children to drink through the day. This goes against everything you've ever heard for adults, but not minimizing sodium in certain children is an important thing. So Gatorades are good fluids for kids who are lightheaded and dizzy. The fluid helps, the sodium helps, probably the glucose helps. Tall, trim kids are at more risk, so that fluid is good for them.
When can this become more serious, though?
Family histories are very important. So family histories with early sudden cardiac events, unexplained accidents, trauma, those kind of things. Children should have EKGs. That's probably the one test they should have. So rhythm abnormalities will affect a very small percentage of kids. Those should be detected. It's
a good thing to know about this, to shed a little bit of light on this, because again, if this happens maybe for the first time for a parent where you've got teenagers, you may not know how to react, but at least maybe this can kind of be out there to be able to spread the word.
Very good.
All right, I appreciate your time, Dr. Mark Zittergruen from Mercy. Thank you so much for shedding some light on this. We do appreciate it.